Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grimdark Lunch, the best 40K talk show in existence.
Specifically at lunch as well.
Yes. Well, in the lunch hour.
In the lunch, yeah.
We're the number one in the lunch hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But all lunch hours, actually.
All lunch hours.
Across the world.
Boom.
Yeah. So, this is our 40K talk show. We have John here, who's more of a competitive player, and me, who's really more of a hobbyist. We wanted to get...
We have all perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
We're coming at all angles, giving you all the 40K deets and our opinions. We're grabbing yours, we're integrating them. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So today's topic is actually going to be about how we would redesign a 40K faction. Now, I left redesign purposefully, amorphous.
Open.
Yeah, open. It entirely up to your interpretation.
It's going to be lore. It's going to be design. It's going to be rules.
It could be colors.
It could be
you
colors.
Just want a different color.
I feel like orcs green. They've been green for too long. Maybe blue.
Yeah. Green is so out. Green's
out.
If you have any, questions or comments, how would you redesign a faction? That's what we really want to know. Just add us in the chat at the Hobby Collab. Let us know what you think about your faction and how you would change them up.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah. But before we get into that, something we are going to start doing, it's very important work. There's a lot of 40K models.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that everyone knows where they stand relative to each other.
They need to know their place,
the
models themselves,
exactly.
And people need to know where they are.
Yeah. So, today is the beginning of... Oh, the text isn't showing.
Oh, no.
But we are going to be showing every... we're going to be ranking every model in 40K.
Every Warhammer model in 40K is going to be ranked.
Yes.
We're going to be throwing them around. They're going to know their place in. If it's 100 of them, if it's 1,000 of them, they're going to get a ranking somewhere.
Yes.
Eventually.
And as soon as I figure out how to do this list, we're going to do that. You know what? Maybe actually we'll start with a different segment and we'll, We're getting some technical support.
Uh-oh.
Because we had to restart the computer. Hi, Meg.
That's cool.
Yeah. Here, we're off to a great start. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Should I not do that?
It's fine. What's wrong?
The text is not showing up.
Chat, hopefully you're having...
What do you think the number one model in 40K is?
Put on another cue.
We're already getting poor Katachan. We're already calling them out. Poor painter that had to paint the face on that model.
You just have to open the file.
It wasn't all him.
Where is it? Listen, this is...
Some people don't know how to use Macs.
That's true. I have no idea how to use Macs.
We threw two PC gamers in front of a Mac.
Yeah. Is it open? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
Thank you, Meg. Listen, who uses Macs? Oh, Meg.
Apparently Meg.
All right, anyway, here we go. This is the beginning of the official and objective ranking of every 40K model ever.
Yeah.
Important to note, this is objective. This is no personal feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We might have a favorite model, but this is an objective list.
Right, we're not bringing any baggage to this ranking.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to look at this poor man right here.
If you look at the Hobby Collab, we have a little beaker. That means this is science. This is actually science. So leave your feelings at home.
Exact science.
Yes. Okay, so the first model that we need to talk about is the Katachan Jungle Fighter.
What do we think about? He obviously has, muscles. You can see,
Yes, muscles, that's a lot of points.
Sleeves, no sleeves is, I would give a lot of points to that.
That's a lot of points.
There's not a lot of models in 40K that have this much muscle and this few sleeves.
Yes, the sleeve to knife ratio is pretty good. Speaking of knife, that's a big knife.
It's it's larger than his legs.
Yeah.
I
mean, we can't rank them just yet because we have to look at the other models. But
right, okay,
all right, listen, that's gonna be hard to beat, I think. Look at those eyes. All right, Eldar Guardian.
Ooh, the backbone of Eldari. Really,
Yes.
this guy, like, they can be from any walk of life.
Yes.
They could be an artisan bread maker. They could
Yes.
be a blacksmith, accountant. They all get drafted into the Guardian kind of ranking when going to war. This guy, I really like where they went with this model.
Yeah, the redesign is great.
They got like more slender. They got more of a build. They got bigger as opposed to the old pewter Eldari line. So I actually like the reworking of this model a lot.
It's a sleek model. It's like, I didn't think that the old ones looked bad,
Yeah,
but like seeing it in comparison, it's like such an upgrade.
right.
However, they are Eldar, so that's going to
No!
they're going to dock a couple of points. Also, wearing sleeves.
Yeah, also wearing sleeves.
Yeah.
Not a lot of like bicep action happening.
No.
You can see that they have to have like those extra paddings to
Yeah.
kind of.
So
That's
like,
where the muscle should be if they did have muscles.
you know, I thought for a second this Guardian was like, I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't have the biceps, but he's got some sick calves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calves
Those are-
look
the calf to like thigh ratio is like
solid. Solid calf to thigh ratio.
this guy goes to the gym, just hits the calves.
Yeah. So, a lot of points for calves, minus some points for biceps, minus points for Eldari. I mean, we'll see where
Yeah,
it lands. I mean, it's a good model, but, you know.
Again, science. Exact.
All right, so,
Number three.
All right, classic
Ooh.
Space Marine Intercessor.
Dude.
You
This
know?
guy is very cool. I like the helmet on the waistband. I think that's a great touch to this model. Whoever did this first was innovative.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Because like when you're building your model, right? You're going to like, oh, what head do I use? I really like the helmets, but like if it's a captain, I really want their face to
Out,
be
yeah.
out, and he's like very notable, right? We should see his face. He's a notable character, and so why not both with this model, right?
Yeah.
You get the cool helmet, and you get to focus on his face. You can do a lot of detail work here, as you can see.
Yes.
Very cool.
It is literally the poster boys, right? Literally the poster boys of 40K. Look, it's
You gotta love the arm calculator too. Whoever,
Yes.
if you're looking at your calculator during a fight, you know you're important.
yeah. I'm wondering what kind of TI that is. A TI, like, what is that? I don't even know what they have in the
Right.
40%.
He definitely had to take out a small loan with his parents or something, because he got into an AP class.
Oh yeah.
To get that calculator.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat. Forearms on point, calves on point, helmet out, breathing. Even,
Right.
Like
Lacking some hair, but that's okay.
it. Yeah. You know. Well, he looks like it's shaved, but you know we have to talk about the model, not the paint job here. You know.
Sleeping Pill says probably playing Pokemon Go while fighting. Do you think they have apps on those calculators? I guess they're like high tech enough to where you can just add a bunch of apps.
Now that's a good point.
You can
So we're
do
gonna have the
some-
minus points for playing Pokemon Go when you should be fighting. Yeah, that's a bit rough. That's a really good point. Thank
Yeah.
you for pointing that out.
All right, now we gotta rank them, right?
Yeah, we gotta rank them.
We've seen the three. Chat down below. Like, let us know where you think these should be ranked, 1 through 3. The lowest. Oh man, I'm gonna.
It's rough.
It's rough. I'm gonna give mine.
Okay, let's hear
I
it.
think it goes actually to this Ultramarine here.
Yeah.
Mostly because he's Ultramarine.
Yeah.
And he's,
Objectively, the worst chapter.
there's
So
exactly. I'm gonna have to, and he's also just a Marine. He's very vanilla. He's only lived for like 1,000 years, not like the Eldari standard like 10,000 years. And he has sleeves. He's well rounded, but that might be working in his disadvantage. To be honest.
it's not a good look when they catch you in 4K on your Pokemon Go. Not a good look. Unfortunately, we have to demote him to number 3. So number 2, this is where it comes down to calves versus arms.
Calves or arms, chat. Calves versus arms.
Okay. Let's just do a quick compare. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got to
Dude, his
point.
calves are bigger than his arms.
But I got to point something out though. This guy, rifle,
Uh-huh.
and a little, what is it? Is he playing Pokemon Go? What is that?
That's
There's a little drone.
It's a little. He's droning it up. Look.
This guy got a pistol and a knife. This guy, rifle, mysterious app, not paying attention, not even pointing.
He's definitely not shooting. He's not in the fight. He's definitely not controlling that drone. He's just spaced out. He's looking into the far, far future.
He's probably texting that intercessor.
Yo, what's up? Pokemon Go later?
Yeah.
On Terra?
Yeah, just for that, look, I'm going to have to put him number 2.
That's fair.
Yeah, which means... hold on, I'm trying to click on the wrong thing. Here we go.
Zesticle says, arms for sure, and Captain Marinering saying, big knife, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like overwhelming...
Catachan Jungle Fighter.
So the Jungle Fighter taking the early lead in our little segment here.
Yes, this is a continuing segment, though, so next week we will have 3 more.
Yep.
It's going to get tougher. But look, if you look in his eyes...
He's seen some things.
I think he's ready. He's ready for anyone coming for him.
Those eyes don't blink. He's always ready like that.
That's right. So, you heard it here first. Catachan Jungle Fighter, objectively the number 1 model in existence so far.
That's right.
All right. So, next we're going to hop onto our next little segment here, and we're going to talk Warcom.
Yeah.
Because, people like that.
There's some cool things that happened. The game is continually evolving with this new edition. We thought we've seen like all the rules from like 9th edition brought forward, but there's actually knights, a lot of Forge World stuff that don't have rules at all yet, and we're seeing them come out slowly but surely. Today, or this weekend I should say, we got some cool Forge World knights.
That's right, and so that's actually what we're going to talk about next. We're not going to talk about Solar Auxilla, just we're not quite ready for that. We're going to talk about this guy right here.
Oh.
Although this is Horus Heresy, what are we doing? We're not ready for this.
Yeah, so Horus Heresy has these guys as well. They were more plentiful. They're rare in the 40K, but I think it has its own, what is it? Page.
Article?
Yeah, article. Might need to go further back.
Further back? You see, normally we would have these things ready, but again, Bartok got in the studio. He's biting cables, biting people. He's a good kid.
Right there, yeah. The spirit.
All right. So, let's talk number 1.
Yeah.
This model rocks.
Dude, this model's cool.
Listen, if this would have been in the rankings today, I think it might have beat the Catachan. I think this model's a little bit better than the Catachan.
Biceps are lacking, but dude, Burgundy has never looked so good on a model, and I love just the I think that's what is it? Something of the Hawk. Like it's not Band of the Hawk because that's Berserk, but it's named after it. It's like the sigil that he's rocking is a very cool sigil. I like it a lot.
I've never watched an anime in my life, so I have no idea what you're talking about. But I'm going to assume that it's pretty cool.
Chat, what is it? But yeah, no, it's a very cool knight. It focuses mostly on melee and charging in. I'm jumping way ahead to the rules because I'm excited.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about how cool he is as a model first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Look, he's got that lanky energy.
Like, tall, lanky.
Yeah, like, you ever watch UFC? Like, the most I don't watch UFC, but I'm just assuming. Me neither.
It's the length of the arms, right? Like when you're going in a weight class, it's the tall and lengthy guy that is actually lightweight but also like huge.
Yeah,
that's the guy that's gonna win.
Yeah,
he just has that reach advantage. Look at that. He can poke you from like a mile away.
So clearly, neither of us watch like sports. So let's bring it back into the nerd world.
Yeah.
Have you ever played God of War 4?
Not God of War 4 specifically. I think I played the first one.
All right. Well, there's this part where Kratos, big buff dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This little skinny lanky guy comes up to him in the first game, and it's like, oh, Kratos is gonna beat him down.
His butt, yeah.
And then this little guy, Baldur, little lanky guy, punches Kratos through a mountain,
Oh,
over a hill.
it's gonna be hard to come back from that one.
That's the energy I'm getting off this guy.
Don't mess with this guy, or he'll punch you.
He'll punch your
through
face
a
off.
mountain.
All right, now let's talk about something you might know a little more about. Let's talk about these rules.
Boom, dude. Okay. So get this: you have to spend a CP to get a 4-up invuln. This Cerastus Knight Lancer gets a 4-up invuln all of the time. He doesn't have too much in the form of range weapons. It's actually only, you can see, 12 inches, but he is just running in. He can advance and charge.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive knight. Still only T12 given his lengthiness. I guess he's just as bulky and hefty as a normal knight, but he's just a little taller. He doesn't get an extra toughness or anything. But the movement, it's the strides.
Yeah, exactly. He's got those long legs.
14-inch move.
Yeah, and a normal knight's what?
It's 10.
10, yeah.
It's
so
10.
Like,
the baby knights are 12, and that's considered fast now. This is a whopping 14.
yeah, there's no escape.
There's no escaping this guy. He can, if you're right on the line in deployment, he's turn 1 charging you.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's something you can't ignore, right?
Right.
It's I mean, if this guy gets in your lines, like that's a big problem.
From a rules perspective, these are the newest rules that we've seen from Games Workshop. It does have the towering keyword. So it's like one of those things where if they tried to balance towering, it's a main topic right now in 40K right now. So if they decide to balance it in the way of like taking out towering, towering actually hurts this model because it's mostly melee. It moves really fast. It can always be shot because it has towering. If they take away towering, now it can't be shot. It can be obscured.
Yeah.
And it's running up into your face. It's super fast. It might be like changed in a really good way where it gets really powerful. It's points for, it's only like 500 points, and if they take away towering, it can get really, really strong out of hand really fast. So we'll have to see where Games Workshop goes with balance and towering.
Right.
Because looking at things like Chaos Knights, they are hurt in a really bad way. They're kind of nerfed into the ground. They're unplayable competitively because of the towering. So they're trying to look at ways to balance that.
Yeah, it's not as simple as there's not a one fix for knights because of knight models like this.
Right.
All right. So that's that. Is there a difference between the regular and chaos? I know there's different army rules, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I think the data sheet, whatever these are called, data sheets are they're the same.
They're basically they might be exactly the same.
Yeah.
They just switch out some keywords so they get the given buffs from those factions.
Oh wait, no. The Dark Fervor is different, right? You have the Dark Fervor.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the other? Can we look at the other one real fast? The Assault and it's the free. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. So the Imperial Knight gets a free strat, a free tank shock, I should say, and then the Chaos version
more of a
gets
support unit, which
Assault.
is weird. Yeah.
I think this is a good buff. The Chaos one I think is just better because you're going to use it every turn.
Yeah.
Your shooting weapons will get assault, so you can advance with your war dogs or something and still shoot. Right, super strong.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, we don't need to talk about tank shock. We don't need to talk about any of this. I think it's just about time to maybe start looking at our main topic. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I'm
excited.
Do you have any other thoughts about this objectively probably #1 model, but we can't rank it because it's not time for it yet?
No, I'm excited to see it on the table. It's gonna be hard to come by because it's not a popular model, right? So I really want to see what it can do and if it's really that powerful on the tabletop.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So our topic today, as we did mention earlier, is we each wanted to talk about redesigning a faction in 40K, and this doesn't necessarily mean rules. It doesn't mean just aesthetics. It's kind of whatever you think. So, before I get into that, if you have any thoughts about that, let us know at the Hobby Collab, and also like the stream, please.
It helps.
We'd appreciate it
Greatly.
Yeah. All right. Actually, before that, let's look at all these ads. I know we're probably behind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're very behind.
We have. Thank you guys for everyone for chatting with us. We gotta catch up here a little bit.
Ted says, I believe nuking Custodes is a faction. Okay. Make a basic Custodes 200 points, and Captain's Army is like 400. You have to ally them in like knights. Let Custodes be demigods.
Whew.
That, yeah.
That's cool. I like that idea. It's definitely a hot take. There's a lot of diehard Custodes out there, but as someone from outside coming in, it feels like that's the case.
Yeah.
I rarely, outside of like almost like Kill Team-esque like history that we've read, that they kind of are only invited to parties, I feel like.
Yeah, yeah, they're not rolling around by themselves unless it's the heresy, right?
You look at Space Wolves versus Thousand Suns, them kind of killing them off their home planet. Custodes came to that in force, but that was like they were invited to that. They were so strong that they were just really strong, staunch allies.
Yeah,
outside of that, they've just do like a team of 5 into like a kill team situation.
Yeah, exactly, and then they take out 10 times their number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, well, I'm going to talk about Custodes actually, so that's not super far off from what I think. I don't know about Knights level, but I agree that they should be more elite than they currently are, and we'll talk about that momentarily. We got Stack says, I wouldn't just redesign my faction. I did redesign all of 10th edition.
Oh, savage.
Fair enough. Yeah, today we're not talking specifically 10th, but yeah, that's maybe another.
It's kind of the cards we're dealt, right? Like, you're not wrong in that. I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. Of course, it's a new edition. They're not going to get it right, but we gotta live in their world, right?
Yeah. Hey, Stacks, I'm curious. Like, if you can just name like 1 or 2 things that you would change, like the big things, let us know.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
That's the hard part, right? Picking 1 or 2 things.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Meg, for the Lorem Ipsum. Yes. I know Latin. Barry Hercules says, the Catachan sleeve muscle to ratio is pure Saray. Yeah, see, that's why he's number 1. I mean, no, that's not. That would be subjective.
Well, yeah.
Objectively, I agree. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll actually jump into the main topic today. Stack says, I will have you know Ultramarines are cool and what got me in this hobby. Don't be dissing my existence here.
It's true. Actually, one of the first 2 boxes, when I first got into 40K, I was like 6 or 7 years old. I walked into a hobby store called Legends, and I saw this wall of cool looking models. And I was like, oh, nice, orcs and superhumans, and I bought both. I bought a box of boys and a box of Terminators.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I had Ultramarines right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
So everyone starts with Ultramarines.
I mean, I don't know what you're saying. I'm not dissing you. I mean, he's in the top 3.
He's in the top 3.
What are you talking about, Stacks?
Literally in the top 3.
Literally, my top 3 models has Ultramarine Intercessors, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not dissing you. Look, Ultramarine's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're the best Space Marine faction on our list so far.
That's true.
All right. So let's jump into the main topic. If you have any other questions or comments, how you would redesign, let us know. We are going to jump into the main topic, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to talk about my takes. Ted, I kind of agree that Custodes are, well, I don't like the way that they're portrayed right now. Now, I'm not a game designer, obviously. I'm looking at this from a feel perspective, a lore,
right?
Changing the identity on the tabletop.
As a diehard fan
of Custodes, yeah. Now, obviously, what I'm going to say is never going to happen. I know this can never happen, but the amount of Custodes on the table should be way less.
Sure.
I don't think there should be a 10-man blob of Custodes. That's insane.
That's so much. The power level is insane. Like in the lore, like they send like maybe a squad to deal with a single planet.
A planet, yeah. That's 10 and that's one squad. No way. So, but also you don't want to only have 5 models on the table. This is not Knights, Ted. So, my solution was I want to have integrated Sisters and Custodes squads, and what that means is kind of like Death Watch, right? You look at Death Watch and you have these squads with. We have Eradicators, we have Heavy Intercessors. Yeah, their data sheets are a little different, but they all work in the same squad. That's what I want to see. I want to see integrated Sisters and Custodes squads. Not 10. No 10 custodians. It should be like 3 max in a squad.
So you're almost taking the opposite stance here, where like not only are Custodes allied occasionally, but when you take the Custodes faction, you're actually allying other factions in huge amounts.
Sorry, Sisters of Silence, not Sisters of Battle.
Like other factions in the Warhammer universe. To like flesh out the Custodes.
Yeah, so
the actual Custodes themselves are small in number.
Yes, exactly. The models themselves, the Custodian Guard, Custodian Wardens, large Terminators, very few on the table. And so what that means is, from a tabletop perspective, the army would actually maybe be bigger, models-wise.
Sure.
But the amount of golden demigods on the table would be far less.
They're leaders, they're squad leaders, they're generals.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, I'm not a game design person, but like, to me, the Blade Champion should be almost the baseline. Like, that guy's a blender.
Yeah.
There should maybe be like only a couple of those on the table, but the rest is squishy T3 sisters.
Yep.
Right. So I'm curious what people think about that. This would be really difficult to balance.
Sure.
But in terms of what I would like to see, Talons of the Emperor is a thing. I always feel like sisters are completely left out, even though it's a 2-man team and one person is showing up. So like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
good.
So Custodes.
I like that.
Yeah. So I've integrated sisters into Custodes squads. I already talked about Custodes being even more elite. Like I said, Blade Champion should basically be kind of where they're at. Maybe not quite that strong, but that's what I'm thinking.
No, I agree. Like,
50 points.
You should always fight first. You should be killing, if the most elite, like even Eldari that are super fast and cunning, should take like 10 or 20 to like take down a single Custodes.
Yes.
Or even like compete with them.
Yeah, kind of unfortunately, it would mean Sisters of Silence would be ablative wounds, But look, hey.
Yeah, like a squad get hit with a rocket launcher, who's gonna die first?
Yeah,
like,
the Sisters, sorry, And so on top of that, Sisters Forge World units. I don't know if you've seen Sisters Forge World units, but it's a much larger range.
Okay.
There are sisters with two pistols, right? Like dual pistols.
That's cool.
Yeah, running around. There's this super cool transport they have. It's this giant black sci-fi looking ship, and like we should use that. Be able to use that in 40K.
Right.
It's one of the coolest models made by GW/Forge World, and there's just no. It's literally unplayable, right? There's no space for it. And I think that's kind of a shame.
Yeah. It won't even be that plentiful in a given army. Like I'm saying, they're like pretty elite too.
Yeah.
Sisters of Silence, because they're like blanks or something, right? They're not. They're actually a rare breed of humanoid. Where like you don't have any psychic powers, you don't interact with psychic energy, and so like you're like 1 in a million. And then Custodes are just even more than that. There may be 1,000 of them in all of humanity.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. The 10,000, right? But like you're never gonna see that many ever anywhere. And so like I don't want to. I'm not a rules person. I'm not a rules writer, but I think obviously if you're having a 1 or 2 Custodes in a squad and then like 5 to 7 sisters, their durability is going to go down, even if you make those 2 Custodes uber powerful.
Yeah.
So I think something you could do is, in the lore, they talk about how people can almost not detect the sisters. Like, a Sister of Silence will be in the room and people don't notice them. Yeah. They fade into the background for people. Right. So, to me, a way you could make up for that durability is you could have a -1 to hit, or trans hitman, as it used to be called.
Sure. There's a lot of technology they have access to.
Yeah.
Since they have so many connections in the Imperium.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They always get like the cream of the crop when it comes to like transports or technology shielding, things like that.
There's stuff you could do without while still keeping him a T3 body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what I think. Am I crazy for thinking that?
It's a good wish list, right? You're like coming from a perspective of a player, a fan.
Yeah.
Right. This is what you would want the faction to be. GW, I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out, GW. Dang it. Chat, let me know. Am I crazy for thinking that? If you're watching this after the fact, let me know.
In the comments, yeah.
Am I completely out of it? I'm genuinely curious because that's how I would want to see Custodians. And when I see a golden horde on the table, it doesn't feel right. It feels like this should automatically be a win. Then these Custodians are demigods.
Yeah, the Imperium has already written it off. They've already won that battle.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
On top of that, I didn't put it in the list, but Ted made a good point. You could have these integrated squads that I talked about, and also just ally them in. That also totally works. Basically, just less on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the comparison of a knight because knights can be allied in. You're taking one or two. Yeah, why not ally a Custodes, like a notable character or something? Yeah. They're probably more durable, more hard to get to, as opposed to a knight. It's kind of like the polar opposite. But they still have a good role. They're probably lone operative. They do a lot of damage for what they do. Yeah. You pay the points of like a knight-esque. Yeah. And it's effective in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a spot in between. A 200-point character, 100. Custodian's characters are not even that expensive. There's 170 points, and then the cheapest knight's 400. There's somewhere in there we could get.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about what you
yes.
Got. Actually, hold on.
Oh, do we want?
Let's do some catch up.
I was gonna say there might be some Custodes talk.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there any? Maybe we are all caught up. Okay. Stack says. I skipped it. Where'd it go? Oh no. Where'd it go?
Ooh.
Oh, someone said, "What is the chat command? What is a chat command? I don't know what that is." Oh wait. Oh wow. I'm sorry. We are way behind. I thought we were caught up. We're not.
Thank you so much for chatting.
Yes.
We are baffled about how many people are just talking right now.
Yes.
We gotta catch up.
Yeah. So again, if you have I want to know what how they would redesign factions. Honestly. You don't have to tell us we're wrong because I'm probably wrong. But if you have a faction redesign, just let us know in the chat. Stack says, John, you have never won a fight in your life, and you're a tall, lanky guy in the way. Hey, you know what John be doing after stream?
Look, I'm never picking a fight. What do you mean? I would never fight anyone in the first place.
Yeah, why? Who would fight him? He's too lanky, and tall. Everyone knows it's like fighting a Custodian, right? I'm not gonna fight that guy. He'd put his hand out like this on my head, and then I'd be flailing.
I would use my long, lengthy legs to move 14 inches every time.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be bopping around, smacking in the back of the head. Don't fight John. All right. We'll do one more, and then we'll hop into yours. That's Nightbot. All right. Captain Mannering says, allied factions, personally, I love things like Cities of Sigmar.
Ooh.
Do you think allies just overcomplicate things for GW, considering they can't get normal armies?
That's a good point, Mannerings, because once you throw in allies, it's another dimension on the balance factor, at least rules-wise, right? Where it's are these allies going to make the factions too strong? It's going to make some unkillable combo.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest fear, right? We can look at what was it, 8th edition and the Knight Ally of a Castellan, right? Where it was just auto take, you put it in the back, it sits back there, it's only 500 points, and you just shoot everything off the board.
Yeah, I mean, even early in 8th edition, there was the Loyal 32, right? It's
this
thing just breaks the game.
Right, and it's so efficient, and I think GW has seen exactly that, and has kind of tried to shied away from it. Exactly. So. Of course, we still have things that fall through the cracks. Forge World, or not Forge World. It's the Exactor squads
that are
35
points.
35.
Oh my gosh!
Everyone's trying to find. I think the kill team box that it comes in is selling for $300, $400. Craziness. But those are the nails that need to get hammered down, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not. This stream isn't about 10th edition, but if you look at 10th edition, it looks like GW's really trying to contract, right? They're not trying to. They're trying to simplify, really, right? So I can understand why allies are maybe not at the forefront of their mind. Mm-hmm. I mean, people have enough problems with 10th edition, and we're not here to rag on it for an hour, but I feel like you have this one exaction squad.
Yeah.
Thank goodness it's not 3 other things in Agents of Imperium.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think Even we'll have to see all the fixes that they come out with. They're doing it. They're rolling out pretty slowly, but they're really taking the scalpel instead of the torch to a lot of these rules. So I think it's the right play.
Yeah. It's actually, Custodes, allies, Kyriadraxis.
Oh.
Right? Just make a squad invisible?
Yeah.
Is that something they thought about? Is that something that slipped through the cracks?
Oh my
That probably
goodness.
wasn't intentional. Hopefully wasn't. Yeah, it's a complicated thing. But then again, they have, a years to work on it, so I don't really know. I'm not going to forgive them, but I understand. I couldn't figure it. I mean, I just told you my dumb ideas for Custodes, so.
Now it's my turn.
Now it's John's turn. Everyone, tell John why he's wrong.
All right, Eldari. This is like my bread and butter. This is the first faction I really got into.
Right.
Just a diehard Eldari fan. So we're gonna go towards the rules. We're gonna look at lore. We're gonna look at how I think it should kind of translate into gameplay, and then we're gonna go into a little bit of the model design as well.
Yep.
And you can help me out a lot there with the model
sure.
design. So. Tools for specific problems. If you're an Eldari player or you've played with Eldari a little bit, you can kind of see some of their identity shining through across editions, right? They're fast, they're easy to kill, at low toughness, but they do massive damage.
Yeah, the glass cannon, right?
Glass cannon.
Is the term.
Those are really hard to kind of steer away from.
Yeah.
They're kind of ingrained. You can't really take that away from elves, right?
Yeah, that's their faction identity.
Exactly.
You don't. That's something that's kind of immutable. You can't get rid of that.
But something about the aspect, the warrior path that Eldari choose in the lore, they go down a specific way of killing.
Yeah.
If you're a fire dragon, you're all about shooting Melta into vehicles or monsters and taking down these big, gigantic things.
Yeah.
If you're a banshee, you're in love with the idea of falling on your foe with screams and a roar upon poor infantry people, right?
Poor guardsmen.
The poor guardsmen,
Except
right?
for that Catachan.
That's the joke. Yeah, don't mess with the Catachan.
He'll be all right.
They don't frequent those worlds.
No, too dangerous.
Exactly. So this is another piece of their identity of let's have tools for a specific problem in terms of gameplay.
Yeah.
That is going to be something that's a balancing factor for any general that is playing the faction, right? You're really strong, you do a lot of damage, you're really fast, so you're going to be able to get there and do that damage, but you have to kind of connect the dots of, hey, I have this very specific tool to deal with this very specific problem. If I try to mix and match those tools with a different problem, it's not going to work out for me.
Yeah, there shouldn't be no model in the Eldar should be. Well, this is going to sound weird, but they shouldn't be good at anything except for their one specific job.
And the biggest criminal here is the D cannon, right?
Yeah.
The D cannon, it's like this black hole gun, right?
Yeah.
It shoots the highest Eldari technology, right? It creates a singularity in which there's just a piece missing from reality wherever it shoots, right? And Eldari have crazy weaponry, but that probably shouldn't exist for the actual game where it's a one size fits all killing thing.
That's the one thing with Eldar is nothing should be one size fits all.
Yeah.
Right. It should be
and this is what the lore looks like. You read Eldari books, you see this autarch general, this super multifaceted person that has walked down every path of the warrior. He's tried to be a banshee. He's tried to be a fire dragon. He's tried to be a dark reaper. He saw those paths and that way of life. Yeah. And he's like, nah, not for me. I'm gonna do something else. He's like the 50-year-old guy that never really decided what he wanted to be for a living.
But probably 700 years old.
Yeah.
Plus.
Well, at least. And so during this war, he's kind of orchestrating it all, telling people where to go, and he. Just from the most recent books, they're flying around falcons, generaling all the things. He's seeing the different futures from his farseers. They're telling him different paths of the future, and he's gonna have to connect these dots and make sure people get to where they need to go. And he's doing the most damage without losing the most casualties, right?
Yeah.
So it's super cool. It's super fun, and I think this is the struggle that all Eldari should face. Yeah. This kind of life to death ratio.
Yeah. It should be. It should be this, fire dragons, they drop in, where's the tank?
Yeah.
There's some guardsmen. that's not my job.
Yeah, let's
exactly. My job is over here. Yeah.
Second point here, Ynnari, I think is I guess arguably the future for Eldari. It's their newest sub faction, I would say, and it's been all over the place since its release. It's been really strong. It's had kill things or do activations on death. It's had a kind of buff system most recently where if you are like less than starting strength, you get a minor modifier to your wound or hit, right? This is probably where it's going to go in the future, but I think it has a lot of opportunity, right? I think there should be like a point system where if you are dying, things are dying on the field, almost to like World Eaters kind of esque thing. If things are dying, you should be getting stronger. All this energy is coming in. Maybe you can summon an incarn, or you can bring guys back to life, things like that. I think is a cool path for Ynnari.
Yeah, and so you're talking about it from a rules
rules perspective. Yeah, this is my wish list. Yeah, right. I would want to see more lore driven Ynnari things.
Yeah.
Even in list building, I think there's something called only Eldari players would know this word, the Ranadandra. It's like the end times.
Oh, so it's like Ragnarok.
It's like Ragnarok. Okay, exactly. Gotcha. That's a great way to put it. Where like this is the event where all Eldari die and subsequently reborn. And there's kind of this.
Seems risky,
right? It's extremely risky, and it's a hot topic among Eldari. And so some believe in it, some don't. Ynnari obviously do, and there's this. What is it like? This future that they have seen where things have to. There's like a checklist that things need to happen. Yeah. For this event to finally unfold, right? And so I can see during like the list building phase, for example. You can kind of check mark these boxes. Oh, I have these artifacts. Right. I get this many cool faction points or points to spend in the game. Yeah. Something like that.
Yes. You want to separate them a little more from the standard Eldari.
It seems so dry to just have like modifiers when things are like below starting strength. I would want more of like a World Eater system or a Drukhari power through pain system.
I was going to say the power through pain system.
There's so much room to coincide it with lore. It just seems so cool. And then
just from a lore perspective, just more attention.
Yes,
because they were a thing for a while. Like you mentioned, they were the future of the faction. I mean,
they were huge.
It seemed like
they're kind of taking a back seat.
It's like what happened to that?
Yeah, I think they were like one of the huge twists. Yeah. In 8th edition, where like new faction, craziness, like almost on par with. It was around the same time as Guilliman finally showing up. And it was just a huge thing for Xenos and Eldari players. So
it's a shame that it's kind of taken this almost back seat. Yeah. We want to see that definitely brought back to the fore. Maybe they can do it along with the rules. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, model design. Yeah. I'm gonna have. Maybe not too much of a hot take, but I think Eldar models in 40K right now are very, very short.
They're short, like literally short?
They're literally short. They're literally too small.
I wish we had an Eldar. We have a little Votan model right here. Is he tall? Are they taller than this?
They are definitely taller. They should be double or triple that size.
All right.
Cire. They're like barely... I think there's size charts floating around.
Yeah,
and they're like taller than Marines. Like
interesting.
Like I think they're quite tall, or like almost as tall, like about the same size. Right. Maybe not exactly taller, but like
they're getting rid of firstborn. Sorry, everybody, like it's happening. So Primaris, there's a size gap in between.
That's true. Maybe I'm talking about firstborn.
Yeah. Well, they're gone now, so there's a new height to fill.
We got a Primaris Eldari now.
Yeah, the Eldar.
But I think tall and lengthy should be their thing. I think they're very, very short for what they should be, and
fair enough.
Give me some feedback. I don't know. That's what I think.
So I'm at a weird spot with. I'm not going to say I disagree, but I think if you look at all the models in 40K, despite our list, which is objective, I'm speaking subjectively. Yeah. I think they're some of the most perfectly designed models. I mean, you look at their old vehicles.
There's a reason why GW has been like, maybe next decade.
Yeah, exactly. They hold up so well.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the detail isn't quite as sharp, but how do you fix how do you make a wave serpent better? Like,
Sure,
I
it's
don't
like
think
so
you can.
sleek and it's like minimalistic in a way where like it kind of just works out.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not gonna mention the Phoenix Lord, the pewter Phoenix Lords.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I agree and I disagree. I don't think a like redesign is in need, because I think they're pretty much perfect. Rescaling is what needs to happen. The difference between the old Guardians and the new Guardians kit is like it's like it just looks, it's so much more, it feels more elven, right? It's like they don't look kind of chunky squat, you know, all standing like this.
Right.
Their faces don't look like
I think they do a lot of bent knees to like try to like combat that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe we can like save some costs if we just like bend all the knees.
Just squish them down a little bit. So
boom.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, chat, curious what you think. We are coming in on our last 10 minutes. We might have to rush through the last topic. But if, you know, what do you think? Is John wrong? Is John right?
I'm always right.
Yeah, should Eldar be taller than Space Marines? I don't think people are going to agree with that. They should only be taller than Ultramarines.
Sure.
Because
yes.
only taller than Ultramarines because they're number 3. And
that's true.
Both last and in my top 3. All right, let's see what we've got. If we have any more. Okay, Stack says, Towering Gone, change actions back to out. So this is what he was saying, what he would want for 10th edition.
Yeah.
He wants Towering Gone. We talked about that. That doesn't necessarily fix everything, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that get touched by this.
Yeah.
So things will get extremely buffed.
Yeah.
Some will get extremely nerfed.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those super broad keywords that need to be. They need the scalpel, not the torch.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a feeling that I've seen many people, you know, argue though, and it's like, I mean, I'm not in I don't know better than other people, right? A lot of people have said towering is like a problem that just needs gone. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're right. Maybe you do go, you know, you take a machete to it, and then you try to clean it up with a scalpel.
Sure.
Definitely not a controversial opinion saying getting rid of towering. Mm-hmm. Change actions back to actions. Yeah, I think that makes sense, just for the clarity of rules.
Yeah, I mean, we have this precedent of like, oh, this is an action. Even people that are like playing in tournaments and stuff, like, oh, I'm just doing the action, even though action is not really a thing anymore. But
not
like,
technically a thing
not
anymore.
technically, yeah. I guess it's, I mean, shooting instead of doing action instead of shooting. I used action again, but like it's a thing that happens instead of shooting is kind of the description now. It's simple in a description point of view, but not from like, oh, there's not a word for it. You're doing a thing.
Yeah, it's it's too easy to misinterpret either on purpose or an accident. Yeah. Right? It's something that can be taken advantage of or just misunderstood. All right, here's an interesting one from Stacks. Remove strength and toughness. I'm guessing that's what S&T is.
Yeah.
So
what?
I'm curious where you're going with that. Are you saying like go to an AOS system where you just have hits on, wounds on?
Oh my goodness.
That
could get out of hand pretty fast. Oh man.
See, I'm not gonna say I disagree. You might be right, because I mean, I think AOS is generally seen as more balanced, but it's also a smaller game overall, right?
Yeah. It's not an exact.
It's not a one
science.
For one.
Yeah. It's wacky in a good way, where it balances out in like the full scheme of things, I think. Yeah. And as like a whole game, holistically. But 40K, I feel like, oh man, I don't know. 40K players would riot.
Oh yeah, well, they riot at everything.
They'll be
mad. I'm not saying it couldn't work, honestly. I would just be curious if that's what you do mean. Basically, AOS it.
Yeah.
I'm not a competitive player, you are, so I would maybe trust your opinion
more than me. I think
me.
it's a cool idea. I don't know if we want to like be that wacky with 40K just yet.
Just yet.
But
well, we'll see. Give Blast a maximum. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the only reason that doesn't exist currently is just rules bloat.
Yeah.
Pretty early on. I could see this happening towards the end of like 10th edition,
Yeah.
or like as it really picks up steam. But like I think they're really, and I would as well, just try to tone down the rules load just for all the feedback they would get of like, oh, it's too complicated already.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gets out of hand pretty fast, right? Like you look at a Desolator squad that has 10 blast models
Yeah.
and shoots a gun at a squad of 20. Now each model is getting 4 extra shots,
it gets
and
insane.
it gets insane very fast, right? So I understand that's definitely a problem for some factions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable. Removing random shots and damage.
Variants, right?
Yeah. This one, I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree. I don't necessarily agree. I think this is a dice game. And I think having some amount of variation, funnily enough, is a good way to balance.
Sure.
Right? You don't want anything to be too reliable because,
It's a foregone conclusion,
Yeah.
right? Now 40K is all about, can I like do the most optimal thing? Like there's a specific way I need to play to win. Now like it's a foregone conclusion. I've already won as long as I stick to these things and I play this way.
Yeah. I do see I understand that for speeding up the game.
Sure.
Right. It's funny. I just said it's a dice game. Maybe we don't want to roll that many. That's something you may want to cut out to cut down on the number of dice rolls. But I don't know if I would take it from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take it away from what they said they were going to do, which is less rerolls.
Sure.
Right. I think, again, not a competitive player. I think an element of randomness is actually
I agree.
welcome.
Yeah.
Personally.
I completely agree with you, Saray. I think a lot of the fun is the variance in some ways. Throwing rerolls into the mix is like, oh, come on. No one wants to be watching your opponent reroll like 40 dice from Desolators twice, right?
I mean, it's like we just said though. It becomes a foregone conclusion, right? It's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll just reroll all the ones I just missed, and look, I hit you 100% of the time, 100% of the dice. Yeah. So yeah, I understand. I think for that one, I would say I don't agree. Get rid of the reroll. Get rid of rolling dice elsewhere. I think that should be taken from rerolls. I don't think everything should be set in stone.
Right. I mean, there's stacks. There's like a balancing factor of like what's competitive, what's fun.
Yeah.
You got to try to please both worlds, and it's
Sweet.
It's a tricky thing.
Okay. Do we have any more? If anyone has any more questions, comments, if you want to tell us we're super wrong and should stop doing this,
please do. Yeah. I mean, we want.
If this should be the last show, the one and done, let us know. And if you're watching this after the fact, comment. Let us know. I'm genuinely curious. Like, am I crazy? Are you crazy for thinking thinking what we're thinking? All right. Okay, just Jupiter. We're coming close to the end here. So if anyone wants to get their...
this is only an hour show. Like, it's a quick thing. It's a lunch.
It's a lunch, lunch hour.
It's a lunch hour.
So if anyone wants... I don't know what booty is. Sorry, I just seen that in chat. If anyone has any more questions, your ideas, let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
We are coming up on the end. We're probably not going to get to our third faction redesign. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure we give it the proper, attention.
Due diligence, yeah.
Yes.
Meg talking about booty again.
Yeah.
Classic.
I just seen something. This is not at us, but if we get to it, we'll get to it. Ryan King. If you want to get our attention at the Hobby Collab, I will talk about it though if we have time. Stacks, one more, says, I didn't think I would have to mention removing the obscene amount of rerolls there are currently. Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
I figured you would know that. This is for everyone else.
Yeah. It's a PSA.
Stacks. What a thing to say before the edition. We're going to get rid of all the rerolls.
That had to be
what happened?
That was definitely a slip from someone. Like, someone definitely got scolded after that.
Yeah. Why did you say that,
They
Tim?
sent like a company-wide email, like, we're actually not taking away rerolls.
Yeah.
We're actually adding more.
There's lots and lots more.
Hey, Blake, how's it going?
Hey.
Thanks for tuning in.
Blake Allman, what did you miss? Some people want to get rid of Custodes. I think we just should make them stronger, actually.
Eldari need to be taller.
Yeah, Eldari need to be taller. Catachan is the #1 model in existence. Catachan Jungle Fighters, just to be clear.
Yep.
Ultramarines...
still at the bottom.
Still at the bottom. The worst, Space Marines currently on our list. There is room, more room.
Look, there's room to fall.
They are number
really
3.
what it is.
Yeah. also one of my top 3 models.
Yep. At the same time.
Someone mentioned this. They didn't add us, but I did want to talk about it real quick. Ryan King says, get rid of Insane Bravery.
Oh, so this is, again, taking away the variance.
Yeah.
That's what Insane Bravery does.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I missed the battle shock. Oh, I guess I'll just spend a CP.
Yeah.
And still do the thing.
It's like explosions, right? You can't
Yeah.
reroll explosions. Get rid of, get rid of this thing that should be always in flux, or always a possibility.
Yeah.
If your guys run too bad.
I like it. I mean, that's the thing about 10th edition. Like, they did this whole battle shock thing.
Yeah.
They reworked leadership. It was so cool, and then they still kept Insane Bravery.
Yeah.
Like, now, how is that cool?
Yeah, we have this whole new system.
Yeah.
You can ignore it.
But get around
it. You can ignore it.
Get around it
Don't
for
worry.
1 CP.
Yeah.
One time only.
Yeah, it's whatever. All right, so I think that's the end. We are at the end. Oh, someone jumped in. Look, we'll go over just for you guys. Andrew Minimus says, Devastating Wounds should be only on natural roll 6s, not on a Miracle Fate anti-anything, other than a roll die should count as modified.
Yes.
Agreed.
We're seeing like really strong combos come from anti-X.
Yeah.
And that it'll automatically make it a 6 to wound. And then Devastating Wounds kicks in and just does massive damage. That's like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. You're going to do the combo, and it's going to kill whatever it shoots at. And that's your plan.
Yeah.
It's kind of dry.
Yeah, it's the foregone conclusion thing again.
Yeah.
Like, there should be some variance in this dice game.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay. Last one is going to be Blake Allman before we shut down. What if toughness strength went away and it went to something more like Legion's damage system? You're going to have to tell me what that means.
Legion damage. Oh, man.
Is it kind of Star Wars Legion?
It's been like 2 years since I've played
He doesn't
Legion.
play Star Wars Legion anymore.
Not anymore, right?
He forgot that.
No,
game.
it's actually only been 6 months.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man, it's a bracketing system, I believe. It's very hard to kill things in Legion, and so they just get like reduced significantly. It's almost like how leadership was.
Okay.
When you failed leadership, now you're kind of on the run. You're kind of just like running away. You're kind of useless to the battle, but you're still in the battle.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so, yeah.
Interesting.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Blake.
All right, sorry. We are over. I just want to say one more thing on that. Horse Heresy. Everything is 1 damage.
Oh.
We were talking about in the beginning Eldari, right? You want everything to have a super specific, specified role. I wonder if you could get away with that. There is no multi-damage anymore.
Sure.
So if you want to damage that tank, you have to use, you have a high-strength weapon, minimal shots, but super good at killing tanks. If you shoot that Melta into infantry squad, it's not going to do anything.
Sure.
You look at last edition, you had Eradicators just blowing away everyone. It didn't matter that they were supposed to be anti-tank, so I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It'd be easier to like tweak and stuff.
Yeah, there's many ways to go about it. All right. We're gonna stop for the day. We're gonna actually go eat our own lunch.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had a good lunch. Anything you want to say before we roll out?
No, thank you, chat, for hanging out with us. If you're watching beforehand or afterhand, hang out with us during our next stream.
Yep, we'll be here every Monday, 12 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
New
gonna say every
PST.
Monday. Yep. Yeah. So, as we like to say on the Hobby Collab and Grimdark Lunch, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, always be creating.
Take care.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.